I'm very excited to be back. I miss the city, I miss the crew. I actually brought gifts for some of the crew. So I brought like Max peanut butter cups, and Valerie is our handler, and I call her mom. She wanted mint M&Ms, just like things that are more difficult to get here. So I brought gifts. I was really excited to get here, and you know, it's a long way from home, but it's very nice here. I like it. It reminds me a lot of home. So, well, I mean, they treat me very well. They go out of their way, the WePlay crew, all of them, to make sure that we feel comfortable and at home, and I just wanted to kind of return that because it is, it's very nice that they do so much for us while we are here. So yeah, you know, I'm gonna miss Swim and Moggers, but I was very excited to be here with Panda and SUNSfan again. I like both those guys a lot. They're very fun to kind of just hang out with, interact with. Panda has taught us a game that we've been playing. We started playing it the last time, we're playing it this time. He calls it Contact. It's got very like intense rules. I won't go through it here, but I was excited to play Contact again and you know, listen to SUNSfan do his cantankerous old bit, but he's kind of a teddy bear, like, so. Yeah, no, I was excited to come back, and my role's changing a little bit this time, so I'm also really excited to get to work with them in a different capacity. Last time I was the host. This time I will be able to put the headset on with them, you know, do some play-by-play, get some more personal interaction, and I'm really looking forward to that as well. So, well, so it's hard. We're supposed to be objective in our analysis, right? But obviously I know them, and so, you know, behind the scenes, yeah, I root for them. I want them to do well. Swim, I believe, is today in our second group. Day one, so I'm looking forward to seeing him play. You know, he did the analysis stuff last time, and he's very knowledgeable of the game, but I think it's a little bit different when you see all of his expertise in action. So I'm looking forward to that. You know, if they should face off, I don't know if I could pick one to root for. It'd be like picking, you know, which of your kids is favorite. It's just not something you can do. But, you know, even outside of them, there are other members of the community that I interact with often who some of them even qualified for the tournament, and I'm kind of behind the scenes secretly rooting for them as well. But during the analysis, I'm going to do my best to be impartial and you know, do my job. So that's a tough question, and if I had to pick one, I guess I would pick like analyst, caster, host, like that role, and a lot of that just has to do with time. So to be a really good player, like pro level player, get on the level of the hyped and things like that, you've got to put in games, right? You practice, 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 you have to do it. And up until very recently, I didn't have a lot of free time to do that. I worked multiple jobs, and one of those jobs was as a teacher. And so since I can't put in the time, but I do enjoy teaching, mentoring, things like that, the analysis desk, the casting, the hosting, that is like kind of the best of both worlds. I still get to talk about a game I love. I can be passionate about it. I can, you know, express my knowledge of the game, but I can also in many ways be kind of that teacher, right? And maybe through casting and things like that, kind of help new players pick up the game, explain things. And so, you know, right now I would probably say I prefer casting. I'm competitive, right? So like if I could, I would play, and I would play to win, and I would do it, but you know, time is 100% a factor there. So like circuses in general, I used to go a lot when I was younger. We would get traveling circuses that would come through. You know, is circus plural? I don't expect you to know this because I'm the person who speaks English natively, but I actually don't know if circuses is the proper plural word for that. But anyway, we would have, you know, the circus would come to town, and when I was younger, my parents would take me. But coming here, this is really exciting. They kind of didn't tell us the theme until we got here. It was, I mean, they hinted, but it was a little bit of a surprise. And then when we came in, it was everything that I was kind of hoping it would be. I thought it was going to be like just straight like a magic show, not full-on circus. Because they had like the top hat on one of the banners that they had released, but this is going to be fun. I'm excited for something different. I really like that WePlay is doing something different for each of the shows as well, kind of carrying a theme, and you know, not making it be you know, the same as every other show. Like, I don't want to say the other shows are bad, but you know, if you do the same format every time, it can be kind of just routine, going through the motions, dry at times. You know, if you're just relying on like the games to carry you, and then you have like poor tournament games, sometimes it's not as fun for everyone involved. So doing something like this, I think, is actually really cool, and I'm happy to be a part. Actually, my answer to this question, it makes me a little bit sad, because it's a game that's not in print anymore. So my favorite card game that I've ever played was a game, it was a physical card game produced by a company called DrHippi. DrHippi made a lot of card games. Their most famous ones were their Star Wars IP, but then they also, when the movies came out, they did a game based on Lord of the Rings. That game had one of the more like interesting resource systems that I'd ever seen. They called it the Twilight Pool, and essentially you played both like the good guys and bad guys from Lord of the Rings, and when it was your good guys' turn, if you played cards that put stuff into the pool, and then when they would play things to like combat against you, it would take it out of the pool. So I fell in love with that game. I was a play tester for that game. I played in like a world championship for that game. I didn't do well, but I just have a long lost love for that. So that would be the one I would pick, but it's not in print anymore.
Besides SUPerJJ?
I mean, it's really just like I spend time with family. You know, like when you work as much as I work, I try to find time to go to the gym because I used to be much larger than I am now, so like I've corrected that. But it's work, gym, family, and then you know, the content creation stuff. I'm covering a number of different CCGs, and I'm trying to do stuff for both like YouTube and live on Twitch, and I don't sleep a lot as a result. Sleep and I are not friends on Facebook, so I wish I could say I had other hobbies. Like I love board games, you know, if I can get together and play board games, things like that, like those would be hobbies, but I don't have anything fun. Sorry. I don't have time.
I wish you good luck.
Well, I'm happy to be back, so thanks.